Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Three-Man Weave. We'll try to squeeze in here at Mackey Arena, 78-61 final score. Huge win for IU. In these three road games, Wisconsin, Michigan weren't really able to make the plays down the stretch, but tonight they did. They held Purdue scoreless the final 8 trips of the game. Victor Oladipo, career high, 23 points. And in one of the ugliest, probably first halves you will ever see, the teams were 19 of 74. Second half, the ball started going to the hoop for both teams. Purdue hit 5 threes, but IU, again, is able to make the plays down the stretch, and probably the biggest road win in the Tom Crean era. There haven't been many of them. So, Connor, talk a little bit about the guy off the bench, though. Verdell Jones did not play tonight. Freshman not named Cody Zeller.
Go figure. Remy Abel, huge performance tonight. 13 points, really shot the ball well, shot the ball with confidence, which is big for a freshman playing in these road atmospheres. And he really didn't look phased at all. And you can talk about, you've seen moments where even Cody Zeller looks phased in Big Ten road games. Remy Abel showed no signs of that tonight. Wasn't turning the ball over, was making good decisions offensively, played very well within the flow of the game. And for a guy that came in off the bench, that's huge. He was a complete X factor for this team tonight. Yes, Oladipo had an unbelievable night, a career night for him, a night that he needed. But if you look at the secondary option and that big three that Remy Abel hit down the stretch, it doesn't come any bigger than that. Oladipo couldn't say enough about how huge of a three that was and how big that is for his confidence. Because in order for IU to beat some of these better Big Ten teams, and to do so on the road, they need performances like what they got out of Remy Abel tonight. Huge going forward.
I believe it was 65-61 when Abel hit a three in front of the IU bench. Probably the guy Purdue wanted shooting the ball. Robbie Hummel said after the game, scouting report-wise. And, frankly, he's exactly right. I mean, Abel would be the last guy, or the first guy that you'd want to shoot it if you were a Purdue fan or player. But Abel, stepped up, hit a big shot. We have seen he's not afraid to take shots. He usually comes in the game, he attacks the rim. Right. But perimeter shooting has not been his strength, but he hit a big one tonight. Avi, just talk about the game in general in terms of what this means for IU. We had the debate afterwards, where this win ranks on the season. Where does it rank in your mind?
I think we all agree that it was definitely top 3, and I think I got to sleep on it a little interchangeably between the second biggest win, the third biggest win, and I posed the same question to Jeff Rabjohns over at Peaks, and I said, I think, and at the time I thought this is the second biggest win of the season because of where it came. This team had only won 2 of its last 7, I believe, and they were really kind of on a down slope to the season, and a lot of people were starting to lose confidence, and it seemed as though 15-1 was an overachieving Indiana team and really not the team that they truly were, if that makes sense. And furthermore, there's just a lot of questions being raised about, A, could this team play a whole 40-minute game? Against Michigan, they couldn't start well and they didn't end well, and same thing against Wisconsin as far as closing out the game goes. And B, just, the obvious one is, can they win on the road in the Big Ten? Purdue, coming into the game throughout the various trash talking, was looking at, hey, we're 3-2 on the road in the Big Ten. Indiana's only got 1 road victory in conference, and that's against Penn State, who's in last. So, can this team step up to that caliber? And tonight, I absolutely thought they answered a lot of those questions for us. They did those 2 things. They played the complete game. They came into a very, very loud and raucous
toughest environment they're going to face all year.
Mackey Arena was the toughest. And to me, what was most impressive, all right, I hate using superlatives because I'm probably going to regret them later, but to me, what was most aggressive is when Purdue hit a big shot and the crowd really came alive, and you could kind of sense the momentum shifting in their favor. And this is especially in the second half of the second half. Indiana came right back and answered. Tom Crean didn't call the timeout that a lot of people were calling for online. He let them play it out. They stayed poised, they stayed composed, and they answered. So, absolutely, I think it's probably the second biggest win. Rabjohns told me, well, think about in terms of tournament time, what's going to look better, a win against Purdue on the road or a win against number 2 Ohio State. So you have to hand it to him on that one, but I don't know, we'll see.
Purdue missed 50 shots tonight. They've struggled all year trying to put the shots.
It's a lot of in the first half.
Put the ball in the basket. They did hit some threes, but DJ Bird fouled out with 5 minutes to go, and he had 15 points. And Connor O'Gara kind of said when that happened, it was kind of like, where's Purdue going to go for offense? Because Robbie Hummel was struggling. Lewis Jackson was 1 for 10 from the field. Victor Oladipo did a great job defensively on him. We should mention Verdell Jones did not play again. or did not play, I guess, for the first time, but he did not play the second half of the Michigan game. Bruce shoulder. Victor started in his place, and then Derek Elston also started tonight.
Great game.
IU went big, I guess if you want to call it that, with 3 guys over 6'8" in the front court that kind of combated Purdue, who played DJ Bird at the 4 for a lot of the game, really, because Travis Carroll and Sandy Marchuch and Jacob Lawson were horrible, really. They just could not have any answer. Robbie Hummel was their best defender on Cody Zeller all night. Guys, I really don't know where to go from here. I mean, it was just one of those awful shooting nights by Purdue, but at the same time, when Purdue got hot in the second half, how impressed were you guys by the way IU closed the game? We saw a huge block by Will Sheedy late on Lewis Jackson when Purdue had a chance to cut it to 2. For me, that's what I will take away from this. It's the fact that, yes, IU got that Big Ten road win, not named Penn State, but the fact that they were able to close it out is huge because, frankly, they won't have many other road tests the rest of this year.
What this game reminded me of was the Butler game. The Butler game in which it looked like every time Butler was made a run in the second half, IU responded. And IU distanced themselves. They didn't keep trading baskets with them. And it was a game where IU kept their foot on the gas. Crean talks about that a lot and how important that is, especially on the road in conference play. Tonight we really saw that for the first time since Butler, where IU was able to maintain control in the second half. Yes, it got within maybe 4 in the second half, but it was never a one-possession game. It was never. I guess the lead was never really in jeopardy. And if you look at how crucial that is, playing in a game where a crowd can take over so easily here. This was definitely, I know Avi couldn't pronounce it before, this was the most raucous atmosphere that IU was.
Students were here an hour early.
I have an accent.
IU sucks.
They chanted IU sucks more times than I've looked at myself in the mirror in the past.
Did I tell you guys IU sucks, by the way? I learned that tonight. I learned it.
But the point is, the way IU was able to respond, they finally responded like a team that's been here before and a team that has played in this building.
Because
I said after the Michigan game that, you know what, IU needs to get more leadership in these games, and it's not an excuse that these guys aren't experienced anymore. Tonight, they finally showed their experience. They finally showed that they can close out an important game. And you know what? This is exactly the kind of win you need going into March.
Crazy stat made of the game. Purdue did not turn the ball over until 5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was
Painter
a wild
was
game.
over the moon about that.
Right. So we'll wrap it up. Illinois is the only game next week. IU has they have 2 byes in their Big Ten schedule. North Carolina Central they added to take care of the second bye, but their first bye will come next weekend. So Illinois at home Thursday at 8, I believe. Go ahead, Avi.
I just want to say real quick that for me, the takeaway point of the game is that they were able to win with guys you don't expect. Christian Wofford has 4 points. Jordan Hulls 0 for 7. Jordan Hulls has a nightmare of a game in my opinion. He has 4 turnovers. Well, okay, nightmare's maybe a little harsh. At times it didn't seem he could run the point. So they got offense and they got a great game and defense from unexpected places. And I really think that not named Zeller and Christian Wofford's the second leading scorer on the team. Like I said, 0 for 7. They found guys like Remy Abel. They found guys like Oladipo, and his performance came out of absolute nowhere. And, you know, they found these guys that were able to step up and lead them to victory. And to me, that's why IU won this game, and that's why I have more confidence in them moving forward.
IU moved to 6-6 in the Big Ten Conference. Again, Illinois next week, 2 home games in a row, Illinois and Northwestern. Lewis Jackson summed it up pretty well after the game. He's a senior that's beaten IU every time that he's played them, and he's flat out said, it sucks. This rivalry definitely is alive. It is a rivalry unless it isn't a rivalry unless you have both teams winning. So now IU has proven it. They will meet again March 4th, senior night in Bloomington.
Last game of the regular season.
For Avi Zalen, Connor O'Gara, I'm Kevin Bowen. You guys have a good weekend.
Painter gave me a good answer.